I've been wanting to make this video to show you exactly what a good hairspring looks like and what a bad one looks like. So first one, look at this. Just moving the movement around moves the hairspring. Here. It's a good one, really good one. Now here's another one that's good too. You see? And it'll just keep moving. You see how the one on the left still moves a little bit? Okay, now look at this one. This is a bad one. You see, it barely moves. If I move the bar, the main plate, it barely moves. Same as this one's. Now, I'm gonna show you close up exactly what causes each issue. So this is one of the bad examples. As you can see, the stud here, right? This is the stud that holds one end. The other one is held in the center by the collet. What's particular about this hairspring is that since it's holding on the outside, then what's supposed to be rotating, it's supposed to be in the inside. In this particular case, as you can see, nothing is seen. Most of the hairspring is actually seen on the outside. So this is probably bent pretty badly. So it's not concentric and it doesn't produce a coil. That's one of the reasons why when you touch it, yeah, it does move because the spring is still there, but it's not elastic. Let me show you a better example. Okay. As you can see, you see the hairspring here on the inside of the main plate here. You barely see it on the outside. That is how it's supposed to be, right? Let me move the light a little bit so to see if we can show it better. Now, I'm gonna move it so you'll see that when the rotation happens, the expansion of the spring happens on the inside of the main plate, not the outside, right? You see how it like heartbeats on the inside of the main plate here. This happens because the stud is here, so most of the expansion happens opposite to the stud. Now keep in mind, the stud is what centers what unrest looks like. At rest, the impact jewel should be aligned with the jewel that holds the pallet, which is underneath here, which usually corresponds exactly to this axle or this metal bar, brass bar of the balance. Right, so let me now show it to you, one of the bad ones, horizontally, so you can see how it looks like. Actually, let me first look at the good one. Okay, you see how this is a good one? I'm trying to align it so it's parallel to the main plate, right? And also, you see the spring? The spring should have space between the bridge holding the balance and the balance itself. It should be literally floating, hold on the stud side and on the axle side by the collet. If anything touches the hairspring at any point during the rotation, it'll slow down the rotation on that end. And I'm going to show you one that's bad. This is a good one, so you can see the space in between both up and down. On the downside, the dial side is harder because the way the balance is here, it is the bars that connect the center of the axle with the outside of the balance, they're not the same height as the balance itself. They're narrower, leaving more space that it's hard to see, but it is there. Let me try to move it a little bit. There you go. You see it on the right hand side of the spring of the pallet, right on the side of the regulating side of the spring. There you go, you can see there. Okay, now let me show you about. Okay, now I'm trying to find an angle that you can actually look at the hairspring. So this one has rotation, meaning it has fallen. For some reason it was damaged and the inside of the coil of the hairspring touches the balance. It is hard to see, but you're gonna see it up right here. 1 second, I'm gonna rotate it. You see how it is it is actually not seen properly here. There you go. Okay. So the moment it touches, it loses that friction, destroys the momentum. Like the way the hairspring should behave is like the slightest breeze should be able to move it. But when it is touching something, it will not. So let me rotate it and see it from the other side so you'll be able to see it better. There you go, you can see it from this side. Okay. So as you can see, you see on the inside, it is in the correct position. The problem is, let me try to lower it to see if you can see it. There you go. Better. So basically, that outer coil of the hairspring is touching both bars of the balance, and that will prevent it from moving. This one is a hairspring that I will very likely be able to fix, but I would say 60% of the time I will not be able to make it. Like trying to fixing it, very likely it'll just damage it more. Hairsprings are super hard to fix. Only when the damage is in the outermost part of the spring is it fixable. If the damage is in the inside, it's incredibly hard to do because the distance between one coil or the other and the next one, like one wound to the next wound of the spring, is like 1/10 of a millimeter, probably less. I should measure it and then I'll be able to tell it. Anyway, this is a good example and a bad example, so you can take a look and see how hard it is. Bye.